Welcome to the first 40 years of a lifelong journey. My mother delighted in reading fairy tales to me when I was growing up. My favorite was always the haunting story of Little Red Riding Hood. It taught me that food was more than sustenance. Food was also a means of controlling others and protecting oneself from predators. Food could distract the enemy. You could safely hide behind food. Food was power.
We have 15 rooms, 33 house guests.
Every day I'm just trying to survive and keep the wolves at bay and not be eaten.
5 stayovers, 17 anniversaries, 17 birthdays, 25 tables in the first, 71 guests.
One of my old chef mentors used to say to me, if you want to succeed in the restaurant business, you have to put your whole soul into it.
Don't move the popcorn with the plate. You lift it, set it to the side.
Okay.
And put this down.
I can do that.
Okay, good.
So anything we do has to be extraordinary. I mean, that's the standard to which I hold myself.
So please be ready at 5:30, yes?
Yes, chef.
I've gotten very comfortable with not knowing what the ultimate strategy, vision, or plan is. Of course, the inn, as we see it, was a gas station. That building at one time was a brothel. A normal developer would have torn it down. It's a little like doing a big canvas. You paint a little bit, and then you're guided by what you've done to the next, and it just opens up.
I think if you know the origin story, as it were, him teaching himself how to cook, traveling to Europe, and then coming back to a town that was literally in the middle of nowhere, and deciding this is where he was going to open a restaurant. This little bit of luxury in the tiny town 70 miles southwest of Washington, D.C., right in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like Little Red Riding Hood. It's like a Disney movie. You go and all the animals are coming out of the woods and stuff. There's no cell phone service.
The whole town is basically the Inn of Little Washington.
You know, spaghetti and meatball restaurants don't last 39 years, let alone a Michelin-rated restaurant. I mean, it's unbelievable how it continues to evolve.
We got a little carried away, and one end of the building disappeared. So it looks like a little dollhouse with a side missing.
Joyce Evans, the interior designer, she sounds like your fairy godmother.
So much going on, I don't know how you keep up with it, or it's a miracle.
We chase after it. We're always in a swirl. She's a true magician. She's able to go into a trance, envision the room in great detail.
That's wonderful, and I shall get my drawing in the fax machine tomorrow morning.
Terrific. Bye.
Bye.
It's part of the fairy tale.
This place is a set, and there's a play going on 24 hours a day.
And you quickly realize you're a character in the play.
The sense of humor is so deeply ingrained here.
Cowabunga. Meals on wheels.
You know, there's a level of professionalism.
So this is Farrah. These are Farrah's faucets at the bottom.
And there's a line you don't cross.
We figured we'd just milk it for all it's worth with everything.
But it can't be stuffy.
And I always point out that we do have a dress code, and that is no wet bikinis. I have no problem with dry bikinis at all. The wet, it gets on the velvet.
The business never stops. There's always something going on.
Making beds, cleaning toilets, phones are ringing all day long. I do everything.
Oh, my tea. Oh, my God.
It's freezing in here, Bob. I'm frozen.
Oh, God, what's so good? You create some drama by doing the impossible. You cut the Parmesan like a coal miner in a good way.
Everybody's always trying to outperform the other to separate yourself. There's a little competition between when we're putting up dishes to chef.
The other way makes it look cheap and nasty.
We have a battle.
You have a layer of jelly.
Whose dish is going to be better, whose dish is going to get approved.
Sometimes you both lose, and sometimes someone comes on top, but I mean, you know.
It's a nice lunch dish for people over 65.
The expectation of perfection comes from Patrick. Everything has to be correct.
You do another tuile, no pepper, foie, rhubarb, and crust the outside with pepper.
I think it would be more interesting if it were a pure tuile.
Absolutely, chef.
We grew up on Mrs. Paul's fish sticks, on Stouffer's lasagna. So I realized what my cuisine was really all about. I was taking my childhood, cherished flavor memories, and bringing them forward, elevating them to something that ideally could rest side by side with a dish that was on a Michelin 3-star French menu, and it was making something out of nothing, taking shit and turning it into shinola. It's either art or garbage. There's nothing in between. We can't have it close. It doesn't work that way.
1-6, beef bass.
I realized that I didn't relate to food exactly the way other people did.
26, beef and bass.
Food and sex were really all one to me. That's the sense of fulfillment that we look for. With orgasm, it's a little death. This is like that too. I liken it to falling down flight after flight of stairs, losing control. Just shut up and lose yourself. There's no greater satisfaction than finding a calling worthy of your whole soul. And I feel fortunate to have found such an endeavor and to know that it manages to provide pleasure to so many others. It's a life's journey without a destination.
Walking alone, humming a song, can feel the cold with you beside me.
Cynical friends sometimes refer to it as a life sentence with no parole, but it's a delicious one.
To be